don't pay people lots of money to do stuff. I've done that in the past. I've paid them hundreds and hundreds of dollars to set up a membership site, a WordPress site that crashed all the time. Look, Kyvio stands there all the time, and it's so simple. You can do it yourself. That's the thing. Teach yourself to do it. You can run up 10 courses instead of having to pay people, $1,000 to set up a course for you.
Hey there, this is Neil Napier, and today I'm joined by Darin Brown. Darin is one of our early customers of Kyvio, and he's one of the people who's been able to get to his first $1,000 and beyond selling courses. So what I wanted to do was get him on a call with us today and ask him some very important questions so we can understand how he did it and how other people can follow him as well. So Darin, welcome to this show. Please tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, I have several businesses actually, Neil, but my main core business is that I'm an optometrist, and I specialize in children with learning problems. And I thought, what a great way to use Kyvio is to put my vision therapies and my care of the kids as a membership site and then sell it to my patients. So that was the basic sort of starting point, yeah.
Okay, very interesting. And so is that why you wanted to build courses? I mean, I know you can deal with people one-on-one, but why do courses then?
Well, first of all, I love tech stuff. And trust me, Neil, I searched for ages, probably years, to try and find something the quality of Kyvio, with it all, the all-in-one, connectedness of it. And I had autoresponders here, and I had tried, membership sites there, and nothing worked together. Nothing talked to each other. It nearly drove me insane. But I just saw it as a way to be able to make my therapies inexpensive so that people could buy them and less time consuming. I have several hats. I'm also a pastor in a church, so I also run a course on how to lead worship in churches, how to lead the singing and get that sort of going well. So I've got several things that I do, and I just thought if I've got the knowledge and people want the knowledge, why not put it in a form that you can transport it quickly and easily around the world? And instead of trying to sell one product for $200 or $300 to somebody, why not sell it for $100 a month or something like that, and sell it to 100 people? And so it seems to sort of multiply up really well. And I haven't even explored the options of actually getting the program out beyond my own patients. So it's really just been a tool of my own business, but it's a very valuable tool. Okay,
very interesting strategy. So you are an expert in a field, and what you're doing is you are condensing what you know and turning it into courses that are not too expensive for people. And at the same time, it helps you scale up your business as well. So that's a win-win, right?
It absolutely is. And when you know the stuff works, when you know it's important and people can do it and see results, if you've got an expertise, if you're listening to this call and you've got an expertise in or a hobby or something that you do, like the worship leading is a hobby. But I realized as I traveled around the world and I played music in various places that nobody knew how to do what I was doing. And to me, it seemed kind of obvious. Sometimes the things that you do that seem obvious, no one else knows about. And so, once you put that in a form that you can sell to them, you'll be surprised how many people want to pay the money to find out what you know that you think they already know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually profound, because a lot of people, what holds them back is thinking that, oh, this is what I do, no one else could be interested, or I'm sure people know more. But like you said, sometimes what we do is so unique and we are so good at it that it just makes to share it with other people.
Well, and the funny thing is, Neil, that many of the things that you do sort of naturally, that you think, oh, everybody's got this, all of a sudden you realize they haven't got this. No one knows it. And it's not that you're so profound or good at it. It's just you've got knowledge that they haven't got because they haven't been through the same experiences. So even if it's gardening or if it's fixing cars or anything else, like you might think, oh, every guy can fix a car. I'm telling you, nobody can fix a car. If you put a course together, I'll pay to do the course to fix my car because I don't know how to do it, So I think some of the things you think everyone can do, they just can't. And I found when I boiled it down and put it in a form that people could digest with these short little videos, PDFs that go with it, that sort of stuff. When you put it in that form, they're falling over themselves to get involved. They just think it's the greatest thing ever because it's almost like they've got access to what's in your brain and they can glean that and adapt it for themselves.
Yeah, fair point. But, you know, that does bring up the question, were you successful outright or did it take you a few tries to get there, you know, creating courses?
In delivering the courses, I was fairly successful one-on-one.
Okay.
My big problem, Neil, was I couldn't find software that would do what I wanted it to do for a reasonable amount of money. You know, by the time you go out there and you get an autoresponder and you buy membership software and you buy funnel software, you know, you're racking up hundreds of dollars. And Kyvio is so reasonable because it's all in one. And it's actually easy to use. Like the autoresponder, the email module that you guys have is so easy. It's anybody could do it. It's so easy. Forming a membership site, you just got to whack the material up there and away you go. It's everything about it is it's idiot proof, and I'm basically an idiot, so you know I liked that. And it's my big dilemma was not that I didn't have the knowledge so much; it was that I didn't have the delivery mode, the software that would enable me to take this to the world. And that's where Kyvio has been just sensational for me.
Okay. No, I'm really happy that it's fulfilling the need that you have of managing everything under one place and making sure it all works together. So that's good.
Yeah, it's great. And when I first joined Kyvio, which was the early days, I actually had a conversation with you. I don't know if you remember this, but I've been with another mob who shall remain nameless, who had a very similar platform, Neil, but they said get in early and we'll give you early bird discounts, and they promised a bunch of things, and then they said, oh no, we're going to change the rules now. That's not working for us. And I said, and I said, Neil, are you going to change the rules when this thing gets successful? And you said, no, we're going to be faithful to what we said. And I appreciate you, man, because you were faithful when others weren't. You know, when you say something, you mean it and you're honest. And I love that about you.
I really appreciate that very much. And for me, customers are our biggest focus, which is why we're also trying to do this at MyFirst1000, help as many people as we can get to their first $1,000 and beyond, which does bring me to a very important question. If you don't mind sharing this, how quickly did you get to your first $1,000 selling courses online?
Selling courses, I'd say probably within a month of having them up. Yeah, within a month.
Okay. What was your biggest obstacle in the beginning?
Sorry?
What was your biggest obstacle in the beginning?
The biggest obstacle is just getting the software up and running and tuned in and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the material. Putting the material out there is, if you got the material, it's easy. You add it up, but it's just a lot of work adding it up.
Sure.
And adding it in and then locking it in with PayPal and stuff like that. But the cool thing is, once you've got it locked in, this is what I love about Kyvio. I could start a course tomorrow, which I've got one in mind. I thought, oh, that's cool. I'll start a course tomorrow. I can start that tomorrow and know that it will lock in perfectly with PayPal.
Sure.
I don't have to go around and start, drumming up new PayPal links, and it just locks in.
Yeah.
I think that's the power of it. It locks in perfectly with the autoresponder, everything.
Good. Now, I've got another question to ask, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm curious, what stage are you at the moment? Like with your courses, how much money have you made so far, if you can estimate a figure?
Well, I actually didn't know until one of your staff members contacted me, who is awesome, by the way. I thought he was an amazing guy. I really enjoyed him. So apparently I've made about $17,000. And honestly, Neil, I'm not trying. I'm just telling a few of my clients, my patients. And the other thing that I've done, which is really cool, I actually did a course out here in Australia where I live on the power of webinars. Excuse me. So what I do is when I'm telling people about this, I say, here's a link, go and look at the webinar. It's up to you. I don't care what you decide, you go and decide. So they go to a webinar, they have a half-hour webinar on what the thing is about. click PayPal at the button, and you can make it timed and come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just keep sending people to this one link, and they just keep signing up. So I think the emphasis for me would be to sort of try and do more courses and more specialized courses, and just get them out there and get them kicking around. Because if you can make a little bit from a course and do it 10 times over, you'll be making a good, income.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
And it's about like horizontal scaling, having 10 assets that are each creating, let's say, $1,000 a month. It's a pretty good way to live your life, I think.
Well, it is. My family's a little different at the moment because it all goes into PayPal, and then I get all of my software out of PayPal. I can buy pizzas out of PayPal. It's all. So it's like having cash on the side for us. It's really good. It works really well.
No, that's very good. Are you doing a full-time job as well at the moment, or is this it for you?
I am doing. Excuse me. I am doing 2 full-time jobs. So I'm working during the week as an optometrist because I like doing that, and I'm reasonably good at that. Then on the weekend I pastor a church, and evenings and mornings and stuff like that. So I'm in the caring industry, caring for people's eyes and then caring for people's hearts. And so I do both of those. I'm very busy, but I love what I'm doing. So why not be busy doing what you love?
That is incredible. I was going to say as well, caring for people's heart, right? Because that's what, being in the church is about. So I love that. Good.
Well, the thing is, some people make others happy wherever they go.
Sure.
Other people make others happy whenever they go. So I want to be the first one and not the second one. So we just try and bless people and take care of people and just love them along.
That's beautiful.
Part of because I do work very hard, my wife has just made me buy a caravan so we can go away for weekends. And so that was a fair chunk of change. And I've got to tell you, there's a little bit of Kyvio in that caravan as well. And we're looking forward to getting away for a few nights, unwinding a bit, and then coming back to the stress of life. So it's great. No, we're very happy, mate.
Good. No, you should. And I think she deserves all of your time as well. So
She does. You tell her that. She'll believe you.
I will show this video after. But that's good. So it's interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right.
Okay. So it's interesting we're going into this because let's talk about lifestyle a little bit. How has your lifestyle changed over the last few years when you've been doing this? Have you noticed that you are freer, more independent, financially better? What is that like for you?
Yeah, I've been brilliant at investment. I think I've lost somewhere in the order of $1.5 million, which was not very clever, but financial collapse and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking for solid ways to earn income. What Kyvio has given me is the ability to not be worried about stuff all the time. Like if you're on the edge and a bill's coming in, you're saying, how am I going to pay that? It's pretty hard to enjoy life when you're right on the edge. Sure. Even if I just get an income on the side from Kyvio, and I'd like to step it up, I'd like to teach it and show people how I've done things and help them set up courses and stuff like that. I just love it. I just think it's brilliant. But if Kyvio can just bring enough money to take you away from the edge, you can start enjoying life again. No one enjoys being on the edge and struggling. If you can earn, even $1,000, $2,000 a month, that'll make a huge difference for a lot of people. So for me, I don't want to change my lifestyle. I'm doing things that I love in my life, and I'm still very busy. But Kyvio gives me the ability to do all of that without stressing out about money and stuff like that. So if I want to take a holiday, I take a holiday. If I want to buy, a new vacuum cleaner, I buy a new vacuum cleaner. I'm not worried about where the money's coming from. And Kyvio has been part of that strategy to give it to me.
I'm very glad to hear that. I really am. So let's do a quick fire round now, if that's okay, because I've got some questions to ask you. So
fire away.
What's your favorite book?
Okay, the Bible and the Lord of the Rings.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You said you're in Australia, right? So do you ever hop on over to New Zealand? Because I know they have all that place there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Hobbiton?
Yeah, Hobbiton,
yeah. I've been over there a couple of times, but I'd rather go over where you are, frankly. So,
true.
Yeah, it's I like Europe and that sort of stuff as well. So,
okay, that's cool. And I can see you're a music person as well. So, what kind of music do you like, and do you play a lot of guitar as well? Because that's what I can see.
Yeah, I play a lot. I play a lot of guitar.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've got a little recording studio here in my house. This is where I'm sitting right now. But
Okay.
yeah, I play Christian gospel music, like rock music. I play
Sure.
it all around the world. So next week I'll be in Malaysia. A couple of weeks after that I'll be in Northeast India. So I get to move around and see a bit of the world playing music. But I'm an old-fashioned guy. I grew up on the Beatles. I had 4 guitar teachers at once: John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And so I
Okay.
used to, put the records on and play away, and that's how I learned guitar. So I have a real soft spot for the Beatles and for all of that sort of good old rock and roll stuff, and I think it's reflected in my music as well.
Yeah. So you're kind of self-taught in the music world as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I
Wow.
made a decision early on, and this is why Kyvio is so powerful. I made a decision early on. Don't pay people lots of money to do stuff. I've done that in the past. I've paid them hundreds and hundreds of dollars to set up a membership site, a
Sure.
WordPress site that crashed all the time. Look, Kyvio stands there all the time, and it's so simple. You can do it yourself. That's the thing. Teach yourself to do it. You can run up 10 courses instead of having to pay people, $1,000 to set up a course for you. So it's the same with music. I teach myself music. I've taught myself most things. I just reckon if you want to do a good job, learn how to do it yourself. And that's where
Sure.
Kyvio is great, because it's very easy to harness and to do.
Yeah, that's always been the goal, to basically empower people to do things themselves rather than just hiring someone all the time to do that. So,
Absolutely, yeah, it's brilliant.
yeah. Um, Next question. I know you said you travel a lot, but if you were traveling for a holiday, would you go to the city or the beach?
Uh,
Or maybe,
uh, Probably the beach. I live near the beach, not far from the
oh,
beach. But I love Australia's all beach. Basically, we all live around the edge. It's all beach. But I actually love the mountains. I'm a bit of a mountain sort of guy and a country guy as well. So, but I would never. I don't like going to cities per se. I'd rather go to country areas. It's just me. There's too many people in cities.
that's true. That's true. Okay, very interesting. And what's your favorite city in the world?
Favorite city in the world would probably be Munich, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
A big
Why?
Bayern fan, of course, but I just love Munich. I've got many friends there. It's a beautiful city. Munich and Salzburg and that sort of Bavarian area. It's pretty awesome. And the food's not bad either as well. So, yeah, I like that
Okay,
part of it.
cool.
Lots of
That's
mountains.
actually still haven't been there, so I should
Oh,
go.
really? Oh, yeah, do yourself a favour. It's very good food.
Okay.
Yeah. There's good food
Cool.
everywhere, in fairness, so.
Mm, that's true. I was thinking of going for Oktoberfest, but I can imagine it gets very busy at that time.
It's very busy, and I don't know. If beer turns you on, I suppose it's okay, but it's good going outside of Oktoberfest. And
Sure.
so Munich is a lot of fun, and Salzburg is it's not far from Munich. It's a lot of fun as well. Sound of music and all that sort of stuff. It's great fun.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Nice. So we're coming to the tail end of this recording this podcast. A quick question for you. A lot of people are worried that they might not be good enough to sell courses. I mean, that's what mostly holds them back. So do you have any motivating or inspiring message for them to get them to take action?
Yeah, I think it was Abraham Lincoln who once said, "Every person is valuable because I can learn something from every person." We judge people and we say, "I can't learn anything from him. He's not very good." But sometimes we judge ourselves and think, "Well, I don't really know anything that's important." And you would be amazed if you can cook, if you can sew, if you can garden, if you can fix things. There are people out there who will pay to learn about those things. That's my experience. And some of the things that I thought were just blindingly obvious to people,
Mm-hmm.
turns out they weren't so obvious to everybody.
Sure.
So I think putting courses together is about doing something you love.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have something that you love that you can show to people and get them inspired to do it, then I think you'll find a ready audience out there. But I'm working with a lady at the moment. I'm helping her set up I've just enrolled her in Kyvio actually as well.
Sure.
And she's a single mum who brings up kids with disabilities.
Uh-huh.
And she wants to run courses to help people to do that effectively,
Okay.
to build into their child's life with disabilities. And I said, that's a brilliant thing to sell. If I had a child with a disability, I want to know what you know. And so I think look deep inside yourself and realize that you're worth, you are valuable, you have something to contribute, and someone is going to want to know that knowledge. That's the value of Kyvio, is when you start to unload that knowledge to people. And I challenge all of the listeners here, I challenge you to this. Pick one thing and check it out. Send a bunch of emails, ask people a bunch of questions. You will be amazed at what they do not know that you know. If you check it out, I guarantee you there'll be stuff there, and you'll say, I thought everyone knew that, but they don't. So inside of you, you've got something to contribute. And I think there are people who are willing to pay for it, for sure.
Wow. I think I really have to go back and listen to this, let's call it monologue again, because all the way from Abraham Lincoln to the lady who's helping, make lives of children with disabilities better, it's a very, very powerful message. So again, if someone's listening in, please go back and just double up and watch this again, because it's very, very useful. So
please do. And anything you do that helps somebody is always valuable. The internet's full of people trying to suck your money out of you. If you just give stuff to them, they love you, and you can eventually sell stuff to them if you give them stuff at the start, because they see your heart is to bless them and care for them. And what goes around comes around. If you're generous all the time, then God will be generous with you and it'll come back to you. I've proven that hundreds of times, Neil, and you prove it with Kyvio. It's successful because you've been generous, and it's going to come back to you, and it already is. So, yeah.
Absolutely. No, very, very true. And I'll tell you this as well, we're expecting a baby in October, and I feel really blessed because I think it'll be a big thing for us. So yeah.
Oh, it's a huge thing. I hope you don't like sleeping.
I think I can live without sleeping for a bit. So let's see.
Well, I've just done it because the World Cup's on, and down here it all happens like in the early hours of the morning. I haven't slept in a month. Self-inflicted.
That's true. So one last thing, Darin, if people want to learn more about you or maybe check out one of your products, what's your website address that they can go to and check it out at?
Okay, well, there's several, but let me give you a few. One is praiseandworshipleader.com.
Okay.
And what's the best one? Optometricvisiontherapy.com is another one.
Okay.
And oh gosh, I've got quite a few websites going. If they want to contact me personally,
sure.
My email is darinb, DARINB @darinb.com. And honestly, Neil, I just like helping people. So if people are in a jam and I can possibly do something to help, I'm delighted to help. I just think it's awesome. Just like the whole industry is awesome. I mean, it's just crazy. You can chat with people in other countries, and make friends with people that you would never have a chance to meet any other way. So if anyone needs any help, I'm very happy to just do what I can to help. No cost, just helping.
No, that's very generous of you. And I'll link to these websites and your email address underneath the video when we do publish it.
Fantastic.
Cool. I really appreciate, Darin, you taking the time out to do this call with me. I know we had some audio issues before getting on, so I'm happy we could sort them out as well.
Yeah, no, thanks, Neil. Thanks for your time, and all the best with that baby coming down the line.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Take care, mate.
Okay.